And we are live. Hi, everyone. It's Jodie here, co-founder of The 7 Effect. And I've got a special visitor who's dropped into the Life Design studio today. It's Dinah Thomasset, the founder of Villagehood Australia. Now, I'm really excited to talk to Dinah about a couple of things around her business, but we're also going to be sharing with you an amazing joint venture collaboration that we've got coming up next month. So stick around to hear about that. But firstly, if you are watching live, jump into the comments and say hi to us. Feel free as well to ask Dinah or myself any questions. We can see your comments come up and we can answer them straight away. So Dinah, welcome.
Hello everyone. Good morning.
Good morning. Now, Dinah, I remember meeting you for the first time on a Switch Start Scale seminar. Wendy Perry was doing a live event on Zoom when we were all in the thick of lockdown.
Yes.
And your story was really amazing and your vision even more spectacular. So can you share with us a little bit about Villagehood Australia and why it's come to be?
Well, I guess, when I was doing my presentation, I think everyone could notice I have an accent.
Yes.
So I probably will never lose. So I guess, I'm French, but also Moroccan. I was born and raised in Morocco, Casablanca. My mother is Moroccan, my dad is French. And when I was in Morocco, we had a big village around us, like a big family.
Yeah, beautiful.
So I've always had, a village around me. I've got about 8 aunties, 1 uncle, lots of cousins, and so on. So, I've always grew up with a village around me, and I love that. And I guess, when we moved to France when I was 9, I kind of lost that village.
Yeah.
And I felt that loss from that moment. I didn't realize it then because I was too young, but looking back now, this is what I felt.
Yeah.
Losing my village and craving for a village from such a young age.
Yeah.
So I guess, throughout my teenage years and now adult years, and then when I became a mother, it was so important for me that I would, find that village again.
Yeah.
And I moved to London before coming to Australia. So I lived in London for 5 years, and then I moved to Australia about 10 years ago.
Okay, so you've been here 10 years?
Yeah.
Always in Adelaide?
No, I was in Sydney before for 5 years before coming here, and we've been here for about 5 years now. So and when I met my husband, married him, we had our first child in Sydney.
Yep.
And I think this is when I realized that not having a village around you is really tough.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have my parents, I didn't have my mom.
Yeah.
And it was really hard, and I didn't realize it because before becoming a mother, I was that independent and strong and confident woman.
Yeah.
And from the moment I gave birth, all that confidence went away.
Really?
And
wow.
I felt so lonely, isolated. I didn't have any strength in me.
Yeah.
Probably because of the breastfeeding.
Well, I mean, they do suck the life out of you, those little creatures, don't they?
And, and this is when I realized that there was something missing, that I didn't have my support because I became someone that I didn't know.
Yeah.
And that was hard.
And, I'm so glad. Look who's watching. This is my mum. And as you were telling that story, hey, mum. As you were telling that story, my mum is exactly the person I was thinking of, because I remember when my son Jazz was born and my mum was literally my right hand.
Yeah.
Like to go through that motherhood initial stages without this voice of support and darling, you're doing a great job, which is what my mum always told me. Mum saying hello. Great to have you watching. She's also my number 1 fan, Dinah.
My mom is too. Back in France.
But not having a mum here, I can absolutely see why you were craving that villagehood. And look, we've got Sue Giacobbe here as well. Now, Sue's actually one of the founders of the Connect and Grow conference that I was talking to you before about. Sue, we've got to get Dinah involved in the Connect and Grow movement. And look, my wise mother, she knows the proverb, it takes a village to raise a child.
And I would add to that, it takes a village to raise a mother as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I love that, Dinah.
Yeah, and it's true because, we don't become mothers. Everybody says, not everybody, some people say, you're a woman, you become a mom, and, follow your instinct and your gut feeling and all that. But actually, it's not that simple. I think we've lost that instinct because of life and also because we do not have mothers around us to pass on the knowledge.
Yeah.
So in a way, it's not really instinct that you need to follow, it's the knowledge that is shared, in women's circles or mother circles.
That's right.
Where my mom and my aunties and my grandmothers will tell me about what it means to become a mother and how I would feel and what's normal and not so normal and so on and so on. And we don't have that anymore. So when you become a mother, you don't have any instructions with you. There's
no downloadable user manual anywhere.
And it's so hard. And I felt that it was so hard. And when we moved to Adelaide, so my son was about 10 months, 11 months. And again, I've moved around, I've been in a few countries. I lived and worked in a few countries. I studied in Canada. So I was like, easy, I can do that. Yeah, just, packing
piece
will be...
Piece of cake.
Yeah, a piece of cake, okay, it's a bit hard with the baby, but I can do that. And we did it. But, the energy that it takes you to move to another state.
Find a new community, recreate new friendship circles.
Exactly. And also, I didn't know anyone. So at least in Sydney... I have my sister, I had some friends, so I had a little bit of support. Even though I didn't have my mom, I still had a little bit of support. But when we came here, I had no one apart from my husband.
Did you find Adelaide, and this is an interesting question because I hear people, I grew up in Adelaide, born and raised, went to school, still best friends with my high school besties, and that's very Adelaide.
And you're lucky, you're very lucky.
Do you find Adelaide a difficult city to make friends in? Some people have said Adelaide can be a bit parochial and everyone still mates with the people they went to school with, and sometimes it's a bit closed off. But I've never experienced that myself, but did you find it that way, or do you think that's in people's heads?
Look, what I can say is that when you're a mom with a young child, in a way, it's easy to connect with people.
Yeah.
Whether you connect meaningfully, it's another question.
Yeah.
But you do meet a lot of people, and you know me, I can talk to anyone.
Yes,
I can
absolutely.
talk to a tree. I'm sure it will respond to me.
So I saw you chatting to the tree just out there.
Hello, tree. But it's really I never find it difficult to meet people.
Yeah.
So for me. That wasn't that difficult, but having said that, sometimes I've been in situations where, in playgroups, for instance, where I would be with other mothers, but I didn't felt the meaningful connection.
Yeah.
Not because it wasn't there or they didn't want to do it. It's just that the environment doesn't allow us to really meaningfully connect because we always have a child with us that we need to give our 100% attention. So even though you start a conversation with a mom,
you've got one eye over there.
Voilà, exactly. So you're never 100% with the person, and that's what I find it hard because I'm a one-to-one person. I love having quality time with other women and mothers, and I love spending time to get to know someone. Yeah. And that's what I was kind of missing and craving, the opportunity to actually sit down and have a proper conversation with another. So I'd say for me, I didn't find Adelaide difficult, like comparing to London or, Sydney or Montreal or, or even sometimes Casablanca. I mean, it's always hard to make new friends, especially as an adult. Yeah. Because we're not as vulnerable as we were as a kid, because as a kid you don't have that lens. You just go and do you want to be my friend, and you say yes, and that's it, you're friend forever.
Oh yeah, taking Jason's kids to the playground and they come away saying I made a new friend.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
like we've just been here for 10 minutes.
Whereas for us adults, it's very hard to be vulnerable with another person. Because of the expectation that we have on ourselves, or because of society and all these things. So I guess I've practiced vulnerability all my life, and I'm okay with it. Mm-hmm. Especially like going through motherhood, I think that definitely taught me a lot about vulnerability. But I can understand that for some other women and mothers, they probably don't want to feel vulnerable because they don't know how to be vulnerable.
Well, it's terrifying for a lot of people, vulnerability.
Exactly.
So tell us a little bit about the logistics of Villagehood Australia. Where do you meet? How does it work? And how do people get involved?
So basically, when I had my second child, about nearly 3 years ago now, it was even harder than the first one because she wasn't sleeping. She would wake up every hour, and I started to get sick, mentally sick and physically sick and all that. And fast forward to a year ago, when we were back in Morocco to see my family because I needed to see my village.
Yeah.
I wake up one morning and I was like, I know what I'm going to do, because this was brewing in me all those years, those 5 years. And also like back 20 years before, when I was in my 20s, I always knew that I wanted to do something meaningful for women.
Yeah.
It was always there. So it was always brewing in me.
Yeah.
But I guess, becoming a mother, the focus was more on the mothers.
Yeah.
So I woke up that morning and I said to my husband, I want to create a center for mothers, where all the things that I didn't have becoming a mother will be there for us.
Wow.
All that wish list that I've kind of started to build from the moment I got pregnant, everything will be there.
Yep.
So that's really...
And I love Sue's comment. I just totally agree with Sue. We have lost the old tribal tradition where wisdom was passed down.
Yes.
And I think particularly in the Western world, you see it in a lot of European countries, and hence you had the village atmosphere over there. But Sue's also saying you're her kind of gal. She likes to talk to trees as well. Sue will talk the ears off of anybody. But Sue, I think you and Sue must meet, because I think there'll be some great collaboration there for sure.
Yeah, I'd love that.
So the Villagehood creates that checklist or that wish list for mothers.
Yes, and also it's a physical space to go to, because for me, there's a lot of like groups online which are very important, and they play.
And which you have one of those as well, a couple of hundred people in there.
Yes, and I I've been in so many groups online, and I think they play a significant role in supporting mothers, and they're very important. But what was missing for me, it was a physical space to go to, where you can actually go, feel safe, and just hang out and just be present. Because sometimes connection don't happen straight away. Yeah. It's just by being in the space and being with other mothers that you naturally, organically connect.
It's so true.
Where the knowledge is passed on by conversation, and we say sometimes, I just want to hang out. Yeah. And I think we kind of forgot what it means to just hang out. Yeah. Like being with other women without any other purpose than just being present with other women. Yeah. And
just to hang. Yeah.
Just to hang.
Love it.
Absolutely. And so that's what I wanted. And I guess, at first I was like, I'm going to create a center and all that. Let's face it, that cost a lot of money. Yeah. Which I don't have.
Yeah. Big investment.
So then the idea was, okay, so who can I partner with?
Great. Love partnerships.
And collaboration is probably one of my favorite words. Yeah. Like I love collaborating. And I went to the Fulham Community Centre wanting to bring my daughter to a playgroup. And of course it was during the school holiday and playgroup wasn't on. That's so me, like not being, knowing
not
when
in the
school.
cycle.
Yeah.
Like, missed that.
So here I go to the center, there's no playgroup, and I'm like, why am I here? There's no playgroup. And then I went in the center and I said, I know why I'm here. Yeah, this is fate. Because I went in that center, the Fulham Community Centre, and I don't know, there's something in that center, like the feng shui, or I don't know what you call it.
There's something there that you resonated with.
And you've
I
been
have,
there. You just feel like tuned in, I don't know, like grounded and safe. It's just like a nice place to go in. It's just like a beautiful feeling when you get into the center. Yeah. And I did a video the other day. I tried to do a live. It didn't work. Yeah. But I really wanted people to get a feel of what the center can offer. Yeah. And I met with Kirsten, who's the manager of the center.
Who, speaking of mothers, and this is a very interesting connection, because I walked in there and Kirsten was actually in my mother's group when I was pregnant with Jazz and she was pregnant with her child, and we were in the pool together as pregnant mums, and we haven't really seen it much of each other all these years. But to walk in and be there all about mothers and then see Kirsten there, it's like, wow,
I know.
This is amazing.
It was meant to be, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So then I was like, the Fulham Community Centre, it just makes sense. It's the same type of vision, working with the community. Yep. And we just clicked with Kirsten. Yep. And that was just like a beautiful kind of like partnership and collaboration. And we've been on this journey together from day one. And she's one of my
she's amazing,
great supporter, and she really wants us to succeed and helping us out and providing that space that is beautiful. So it's a really big center with a big hall, and there's like a I think it used to be a school back in the
Yeah.
days, and there's this like what I call the Playhood Crèche,
Yeah.
which is like a school or a kindy.
Yeah.
A beautiful room, a big room with lots of toys, lots of things. There's an outdoor playground that
Yeah.
is huge, so the kids can actually be inside and outside.
Yeah.
And it's all gated. There's a lot of shade as well
Yeah.
outside, so it's very safe during summer. Like you're not in the sun too much, and also during winter you're protected by the shade, the shelter. So it's a beautiful space. It just works perfectly.
Yep.
And so we started to talk and kept on talking, and this is where we launched Villagehood Australia. So the first village is at the Fulham Community Centre.
Yeah, brilliant.
And what we do is really this idea of offering me time to mothers.
Yeah.
So it's using that space to create time for mothers to mentally recharge. So me time, what does that mean? It could mean like fitness classes. So we have a range of fitness classes. We do have like self-defense, Pilates, Zumba, yes, and yoga. There may be some other.
You have meditation as well. I met the meditation teacher when I was in there. Yes.
So that would be awesome. Suzanne is coming back in term 4, and we're going to do something special there.
Yep.
And there's also a me time zone.
Yeah.
So we've created a space, a more private space, away from the hall, away from the noise. Although when Zumba is on, the noise is everywhere.
Yeah. I love a good Zumba class.
I know.
Yeah.
But there's a space for mothers to basically be able to have a private conversation or just relax and read a book, and knowing that their child is just next door and they can just, be relaxed. And I also work there, so I've created a little space there for us to work, so that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And there's other things that are happening, so the masterclasses.
Yeah, ta-da!
Ta-da!
Yeah,
So-
Mum says, what a wonderful idea. And it really is, Mum. It's such an exciting idea. And that's why when I heard about it, I went, wow,
Yeah.
I'd love to support this.
Yes.
Because I really think being a mum and being through those cycles of, trying to find your networks and find your way, and falling off is really great. So the masterclasses.
So we, during the COVID period, because we launched Villagehood Australia in March, just before International Women's Day, because I always wanted to be linked to International Women's Day, because I'm doing all of this for the women and the mothers.
Yeah.
And for me, that's the reason why we're doing this. It's to support the woman in every mother.
Yeah.
And International Women's Day for me, it's such an important, day, but also we celebrate women that day, but every day as well.
Yeah.
And
Sue says she loves it, Dinah. Loves it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
So really, like, we launched on the 6th of March. We had a beautiful launch, but then we had COVID.
Yeah.
So
just opened the new centre.
Yeah.
Hello, lockdown time.
Yeah, I know. So what we did is
Close
that
the next week.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So what we do is that I had to basically pivot.
Yeah.
As Wendy would say, and we basically, because we couldn't have the face-to-face anymore, we focused on the masterclasses. So we had one with you online,
which was wonderful,
which was great. The moms really loved that.
Yeah.
And we always say that once we go back to the center, we'll do another one at the center, a longer one, a bigger one.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're doing now. So we've had one masterclass at the center.
Yep. That was with Lisa.
With Lisa.
Yeah.
When was that? Last week? 2 weeks ago?
She's
I don't know.
amazing. So
that was
Lisa
awesome.
Wells, who's done some, she did our case study program at the start of the year, and she does incredible work with women around changing their relationship with food.
Yes.
And she's just so beautiful.
Yeah, a beautiful energy.
Beautiful energy. Love Lisa.
And we loved it. And that was great. So now we just want to keep offering those masterclasses, because that's something that, and again, it's about sharing the knowledge.
Yep.
So we all about, passing on that knowledge and helping and supporting mothers. And there's different topics that are important for mothers. Some could be about your relationship with food, or about your relationship with sleep. Or about your kids, the behavioral challenges that you can have with kids, or about,
your relationship with life is what we're going to be talking about.
Exactly.
Yes.
And I think that resonates with a lot of us moms, because when we become a mom, we lose that identity, and we kind of like put ourselves last.
Yep.
And I think having you teaching us how to basically focus on our dreams and design our life. It's something that resonates with so many mothers.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I think it's going to be very exciting.
So here's the deal, my friends. If you are either in the Villagehood already with Dinah, or if you're a mum, or a woman in general, or is it mums only?
No, woman in general.
If you're a mum or a woman, you don't even have to be a mum, because we put the Working Mums Guide on our book, and then a lot of people are like, I'm not a mum, but I'm allowed to still buy it.
Yes.
So we are running a 3 hour, did we decide? 2.5
hours. 9:30 to 12.
2.5 hour life planning masterclass, where I'm actually going to be presenting the 5 stages of the life design process to Dinah and her beautiful community. Now, our one-day workshop, the Ultimate Life Planning Workshop, normally sells for $179. But for Dinah, we're actually doing, just to cover the costs, you'll get a beautiful life plan. It's only going to be $50, and we're going to spend 2.5 hours together actually going through the life plan. Before we do it, once you register, I'm going to give you a pre-work tool, which is actually called the Life Design Audit. And you're going to go through that. We're going to work out where you are now. We're going to design the 7 wonders of your world, and I'm going to take you through some dare to dream exercises that will help you get crystal clear on what your ideal life looks like. And then even more importantly, I'm going to give you the tools to actually do the work and get your 12-month plan in place on the day. So it's going to be a super exciting session.
That is so exciting.
The other thing that we're going to do to back it up, because for me personally, goals clubbing, we created a goals club when I was a mum, stressed out single mum, workaholic, losing sight of all aspects of life. And I got a group of friends together, and we met once a month and we set goals. We called it a goals club. What I'd love to do is, after the masterclass, once we've done the life planning masterclass, we will bring in one of our accredited coaches. So the 7 Effect have a team of accredited coaches who will set up and facilitate a goals club for some of your mothers there. So there'll be that regular ongoing support. Because I think everyone knows what it's like. It's one thing to go to a workshop or a seminar or a masterclass and get all inspired. Yeah. You leave with your conference high, but often you go away and go, oh, now life is messy.
What do I do? Yeah.
So the real magic is going to be what you do in the masterclass and after the masterclass, and it's actually the Goals Club. So I'm excited to be able to bring this to your community, and hopefully we can get lots of mums there on the day.
Yes, that would be great. Yeah, well, I've got a few already lined up.
Yeah, and to anyone in the 7 Effect community, what's the date? Let's give them that.
So the date is the 20th of October, Wednesday, the 20th.
Okay, so
not the 20th, the 28th.
28th
of
October. I can write this up and it'll pop up here. This is how fancy this is, at 9:30
to 12.
Till 12, and there'll be some nice morning tea. Don't worry, Dinah, they can't see my attempts at spelling it all wrong. So here we go. Here's the details. 28th of October, boom, at 9:30 till 12 o'clock at the Villagehood in, what's the address of that?
It's 19 Fitch Road in Fulham.
And how do people get tickets? There'll be a link that they can book once you set it up.
On the Villagehood Australia Facebook page, I will be putting the ad there, and then it will link back to the website where you can purchase the tickets.
Brilliant.
I'll do that after this.
And once we get that done, we'll pop the link down here in the comments below as soon as it's available. Please tag either Dinah or myself if you get lost and go, oh my God, I have to be there, but I can't find the way to book a ticket. And we'll directly send you a message. Make sure you grab your spot. This is going to be an exciting 2.5 hours of designing your ultimate life. So can't wait. And Mum says people will pay just to listen to Dinah's beautiful accent. Mum, it's only $50. Book your ticket.
Yeah. Your mum is in Adelaide?
Yeah.
Oh my God. You've got to come.
Yeah.
I want to meet you.
Mum, you got to come Wednesday, 28th of October. Book your ticket. Come and do your life plan. It'll be great fun.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm
Thank
really
you
excited.
so much. Yeah, that would be awesome. I can't wait.
I can't wait either. So thanks for dropping in.
Thank you.
Great to have you here. And thanks everyone for tuning in and watching live. Remember, if you have any questions, tag myself or Dinah below and we'll get you the details, and we look forward to designing your dream life with you.
Awesome.
See you later, everyone.